Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Jordan Bateman, Vice President of Communications and Marketing for the Independent Contractors and Business Association in BC. His website, icba.ca. Welcome back to the show, Jordan.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Jordan, the BC government, NDP minority, has called an election. Is this pure opportunism or was it needed?
Oh, it was pure opportunism. I mean, the past few days have just been an abysmal showing by Premier Horgan as he's lurched from reason to reason as to why he called this election. And the truth is, Jim, he can't really tell us the truth about why he called the election, because the truth is he saw a window where he thought he could win big. He was up 25 points in one summertime poll, and he thought, oh, this is my chance to get the majority that I so desperately want. He wanted to control the legislature, not have to deal with any discussion, not to have to deal with any of the discussion with the Green Party. So he ran ahead, and he's starting to get spanked already. So new poll out today. It's tightened to 7 points in the research code poll. So, it's backfiring, and it's still early days. And until he fesses up and comes clean, his credibility is going to limp along in this campaign.
Well, it's pretty unusual for someone. First of all, BC has a fixed election date law. How do you get around that?
Well, you just broke it, quite frankly. There's a provision in there that, allows minority governments to go early, I suppose. The problem is, he had a signed agreement with the Green Party, signed by himself, not as leader of the NDP, mind you, but signed as an MLA in the House. Every MLA on the NDP and Green side signed it. He had reassurances from Sonia Furstenau, the new Green Party leader, on the Friday before the election that they were still committed to that agreement. They wanted to make this work to next year, that the pandemic and COVID response were far too important to stall even for a month for an election. And he rejected it. He ripped it up. It's shockingly, politics you follow politics long enough, you see plenty of hypocrisy. I mean, look at the United States, you see it all the time. But this is just staggering hypocrisy. This is a premier who went out there and criticized Gordon Campbell, Christy Clark, for 15 years for tearing up an agreement with the Teachers Federation. That ended up in Supreme Court, and the BC Liberals lost that case. But for 15 years, John Horgan made political hay out of that. And what does he do? Tears up an agreement with the Green Party, plunges everyone into an election that no one really wanted, and now he seems shocked that the media aren't on board, the public don't want this election. Something like 60% of British Columbians oppose the early election call. It's pretty funny to watch how I believe it was Shakespeare who said he's being hoisted on his own petard, as they say.
Mm-hmm. And people may wonder what a petard is. It goes back to the days of sieging castles, and it's actually a shaped form where you'd put a charge on it if you're an engineer or sapper, and put it up against the side of the castle to help blow it up. That's what a petard is. So it's kind of a body-shaped curve thing. So, but exactly. Shakespeare was very familiar with it because that's how you brought down a castle.
And this may be how the NDP castle falls down, right? Like, you have a 25-point lead in the summer. Now you're down to single digits. And it's only day 3 of the election. Now, long time to come. This election, I think, is a little bit more compact than a normal 32-day election is. I think advanced polling is going to be very popular. I think mail-in ballots are going to be very, very popular. Those will happen long before Election Day, and then probably not get counted until long after. But, this is important time for the Horgan government, and it just seems like every day there's another fib, another nose stretcher, another kind of misleading people as to what was really going on in the legislature. And Sonia Furstenau, to her credit, is not letting him off the hook for this.
Also, they're promising a new hospital for Surrey in this election campaign. Nobody noticed that in the items listed in the budget.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time at ICBA because it's embarrassing. They announced, re-announced, and re-announced a new hospital for Surrey, but they have not put a single dollar into their fiscal plan, not in the past 3 years and not for the next 3, to actually build it. And I'm going to let you in on a secret about construction, Jim. It takes money to build things because, you have to pay people and you have to buy supplies and materials. You just can't spin this out of thin air like using unicorn magic. But, the NDP go out there and claim that they're building a hospital in Surrey. Where is the money? Where's the dollars? Where's the dollars for the SkyTrain extension in Surrey? You can talk about it all you want. Where's the money? They haven't shown up with it yet. So, again, that is a bigger problem for a premier who, is kind of fibbing about the reasons why he called this election. Got caught out in a lie today about the $10 a day daycare. These things start to add up. And if the ballot question becomes, like John Horgan, says one thing and does another, or John Horgan isn't fully truthful with us, that's a bad ballot question for the NDP.
We'll have more with Jordan Bateman right after this.
Value from success. Growth in discovery. Golden Arrow Resources is a well-funded gold-copper exploration company with proven management and prospective properties in Chile, Argentina, and Paraguay. Golden Arrow trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange, symbol GRG, on Frankfurt, symbol G6A, and the OTCQB, symbol GARWF. For more information, visit us at goldenarrowresources.com or call Sean at 778-686-0135.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Jordan Bateman. Jordan, how much does it cost to run a provincial election, especially in a time when funds are tight?
Well, I'm not sure what the actual dollar figure is. I'd have to go back and look from the last one, but, it's fair to say you're into the millions and millions of dollars. If it was $50 million, that would not surprise me. This one is even more complicated because for the first time, you're actually pushing a lot of people to vote with mail-in ballots. That's always been sort of a last resort, used by only a very tiny percentage of people who couldn't make it into their riding for advanced polling. Now, though, as many as 30% of voters, Elections BC believes, could vote through the mail. This is a problem because, within 11 days, 11 days after the writ drops, the final candidates can be nominated. So you can't actually print ballots until, a couple of weeks into this campaign. Then you've got to mail them out to everyone who's requested them. Then those people have to turn around and mail them back. And in the middle of all that, you've got Thanksgiving weekend, which is a stat holiday for the mail service. So, tight timelines, whereas the TransLink mail-in vote and Prop Rep mail-in votes, there was, I think, 11 weeks, between 10 and 11 weeks of mailing in time, and that was with everyone getting a ballot. You didn't have to request it. That's not a lot of time for people to turn around and send the stuff back in. So, yeah, it's going to be a complicated thing. Elections BC, it's an election like no other. I worry about poll workers. I don't worry about showing up at an advanced poll and, stepping in, doing my vote and getting out. I'll wear a mask. I'm sure I'll be spaced out and all that. But, the longer people sit in that room, the more people that clerks are exposed to, the more you wonder if is that really safe. So, frankly, I wish the provincial health officer had been a little sturdier with her friend the premier, just to say this is not a great time to do it. But I think she desperately wants to avoid looking political, so Dr. Bonnie is trying to figure out ways to make this work. But it does seem like an unnecessary risk at a time when we didn't have a burning need for an election until next year.
With mail-in ballots as well, they're not counted until 14 days after the election date to prevent people from voting twice. So we may not know the result of this election for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I would say we won't know the final results for a couple of weeks. It's just another problem there. And again, you're in the middle of a pandemic, so the a government who may have been voted out of office, who knows, if the NDP lose, will still be making decisions, based on a mandate they no longer have, and without the support of the coalition partners in the Green Party. So, yeah, it's certainly questionable, and look, another reason why they should wait till next year.
Jordan, you were highly critical of the lack of support for BC's hospitality workers through this virus crisis. Are they the people who may resent the lack of that support and vote against the government?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I'm actually writing a piece right now for theorca.ca about small businesses in general. And, take a walk. I encourage everyone to take a walk through their commercial areas and look at the number of stores that have papered over storefronts. I first noticed it when we stopped in Horseshoe Bay on our way up the Sea to Sky a few weeks ago. I couldn't believe the number of closed little small businesses in Horseshoe Bay, which is quite an affluent community. Then I noticed it in Vancouver. We work our office is attached to Metrotown Mall. Certainly, Metrotown Mall, there are many empty storefronts. Penticton, Kelowna, all of these little shops, restaurants, coffee shops, closed and not coming back. Think about your favorite radio and TV stations and how few ads they've had in recent months, because businesses, cut marketing or just cease to exist. So, there's no doubt small business owners are reeling. Jock Finlayson over the Business Council of BC, at one point he said that he thinks between 10 and 15% of the 200,000 BC businesses that existed on January 1st, 2020 will be gone by December 31st, 2021. And that's 30,000 businesses potentially snuffed out. And, at first I thought, well, it seems like a lot, but, you start walking through these small towns and start walking through commercial areas and you go, yeah, maybe he's right. Certainly there were more than 15% of empty storefronts in Horseshoe Bay. So government has not done enough. The feds and province have had some programs that have been successful and other programs, mainly business ones, that have been woefully undersubscribed, mainly because the bureaucracy involved was just so choking that people couldn't get the money they needed. Some municipal governments, you have to give them credit, have gone above and beyond. I think of Delta helping with building patios. Port Coquitlam did the same for restaurants in their main strips. But the problem there is now the rain is coming, and that's not going to be as attractive a place to go and eat. Terrace, I believe it was Terrace, they actually, had their City Hall staff call every single small business license holder in town and make sure that they knew what programs were available, even help them with applications. That goes a long way to helping. So, a lot of these municipalities stepped up, but, certainly the province and feds could have done more, and there's nothing in John Horgan's plan that comes close to helping the tourism industry, which was asking for close to $700 million in help and got about $100 million in yet another task force to discuss the problem.
We'll have more with Jordan Bateman right after this.
Bateman Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Bateman's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at batemanresources.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Jordan Bateman. Jordan, the federal throne speech, was there anything in there that would help the construction industry in British Columbia or small business?
Well, there's still some wage subsidy stuff from the federal government that looks like it's going to be extended. The devil's always in the details, right? And throne speeches are big on platitudes and visions, and not just this one, but throne speeches in general, and usually very, very short on details. So I think we're all eagerly anticipating the federal budget. We'll see what's in there and then be able to have a better understanding maybe the next time we talk. But anyone who thinks that businesses are doing okay, there might be a handful that are, but you're wrong about the rest. These businesses are struggling. Now we have the tax deferral cliff where a number of these taxes have been deferred throughout the year are coming due. We're entering a second wave. I see just as I came on that Israel's announced that they're locking down again. That could very well be spread across the Western world as COVID numbers continue to go up. And then the weather's gone bad. So for these businesses who have been lining people up outside or who've been serving people on patios, that's going to become a lot less attractive as well. So there are some, it feels like there's still some very grim times ahead for small business across the country and specifically in BC.
Jordan, anything else you wanted to add? How are your members coping with what's happened so far?
Our members have been doing great. There's a little bit of concern growing for 2021 as project owners kind of take a wait-and-see attitude to the economy about whether they want to invest in construction next year. That's why we need governments to come in hard on a big infrastructure program. Let's put people to work building things that will help spur the economic growth across the country and in BC in specific.
Has the lack of action on a Massey Tunnel replacement been disappointing?
It's appalling. So cast your mind back 3.5 years ago, the BC Liberals had announced the bridge. They were already putting preloading to build it. The bridge bids were in. The successful bid was going to be $900 million under budget. They were expecting to spend $3.5 billion altogether. They were going to have it built for $2.6. And then, John Horgan came in, didn't like it because it was a project identified with Christy Clark, killed that project, and now for 3 years, nothing has happened. Cost $100 million to break those contracts and kill that project. Nothing has happened since. Nothing's going to happen for another 5 to 7 years. This is a big problem for the BC NDP in Surrey and in Delta, where there are enough ridings to swing this election.
And I do remember talking to the BC Construction Association years ago where they said traffic congestion in the Lower Mainland is costing them billions of dollars, and consumers who have to pay the ultimate cost for everything delivered because everything you own was in a truck at some point. Has anything been done to end that congestion?
No. It's a pretty simple answer. They've done nothing. The investment in transportation has been shockingly small this term by the NDP government. London Drugs has a big warehouse center, a distribution center in Richmond. They're looking to move out of there because the traffic is so bad through the tunnel that they have problems attracting workers there. They have problems getting through the tunnel to deliver their goods. For most governments, that would be, a 5-alarm fire. Like, holy smokes, we got to get on this. We're not doing it right. But for the NDP, it's, shut up. We'll get to it when we get to it, maybe 10 years down the road. That's not good enough by half. And frankly, Surrey, which helped give enough seats to the NDP last time to form a minority government, might want to be rethinking their votes this time because they promised a hospital, you ain't got one. They promised SkyTrain extension, you ain't got one. And they promised action on Massey, and you haven't gotten any.
Jordan, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
My guest has been Jordan Bateman, Vice President of Communications and Marketing for the Independent Contractors and Business Association. His website, icba.ca. If you have any questions for Jordan or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter at Talk Digital Net. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at talkdigitalnetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.